Most people hit 59 and think nothing changes. But this is actually when everything about retirement flips. There are a number of game-changing rules that kick in at this point. And if you don't know them, you could miss out on years of income, tax breaks, and flexibility. If you're anywhere near retirement, this video could save you thousands. Let's dive in. The first shift that happens at 59 is that tax optimization suddenly gets easier. Most retirees have their savings heavily concentrated in tax-deferred accounts like 401ks and traditional IRAs. That's great for building wealth, but it creates big tax headaches later. And at age 59 and a half, new rules open up. You can start doing in-service distributions from your 401k into your IRA without leaving your job. This gives you much more control over how you invest those funds, and more importantly, it unlocks Roth conversion opportunities. You can begin converting portions of that IRA into a Roth IRA. And now you can even pay the taxes on that conversion directly from that retirement account without triggering that 10% early withdrawal penalty. Of course, it's still better to pay the tax from outside accounts if you can. But this flexibility makes conversions possible for those who otherwise couldn't afford it. This is where smart, intentional planning can have an enormous impact. Let me give you a real-life example from one of our clients. We'll call her Cindy. Cindy is single, has a strong pension, Social Security benefits, and a very large 401k. Her main financial goal was to leave a significant inheritance to her son. But because of her multiple income sources, she was stuck in a very high tax bracket seemingly for the rest of her life. Without planning, most of that 401k would have been heavily taxed both for her and her son. But once Cindy turned 59 and a half, everything shifted. She was able to start converting portions of her 401k to a Roth IRA. But since she didn't have the outside funds to pay the tax, she paid it directly from her retirement account without facing a withdrawal penalty. By working through a multi-year Roth conversion plan, we estimate that Cindy's family will save roughly $500,000 in total taxes over their lifetime. And because her son will inherit Roth assets instead of tax-deferred ones, that inheritance can grow tax-free for 10 years after she passes. Even single filers, who typically have fewer tax breaks, can benefit from strategic Roth conversions if legacy planning is the goal. This kind of planning isn't something you figure out once and forget. It requires a long-term tax roadmap and then year-by-year execution based on your actual tax returns. Every May, we review our clients' 1040s with a thorough analysis to adjust the plan as life changes. The second shift that happens at 59 is that healthcare becomes more manageable if you plan ahead. Healthcare is often the biggest reason why people feel like they have to work until age 65, because that's when Medicare kicks in. But by starting at age 59, you create options. There are really 4 big healthcare expenses you need to understand: Medicare premiums, out-of-pocket costs, long-term custodial care, and pre-Medicare private insurance if you retire early. Let me share Dave and Terry's story. Terry had watched her mother struggle through a healthcare crisis without a plan, and that financial scramble left a lasting impression. When Dave and Terry hit 59, we worked together to map out their entire healthcare picture, years before Medicare would even start. They built a budget for Medicare premiums, and they prepared for out-of-pocket costs that Medicare wouldn't cover. They even created a dedicated healthcare emergency fund for long-term care. And most importantly, they realized that they could afford to bridge the gap with private insurance between ages 60 and 65. Yes, private insurance can feel expensive, but for Dave and Terry, it was worth the price. It bought them 5 extra summers without Medicare, and they had oversaved and were more prepared than they realized. And that's something that we see far too often. People delay retirement because healthcare feels uncertain. And with a clear plan, that uncertainty disappears. The third shift is more emotional. The retirement wall of 60. Around this age, many people feel a mounting anxiety. Have I saved enough? Am I really ready? Can I maintain my lifestyle? Most retirement advice gives you generic rules. Have 8 times your salary by 67 or 25 times your expenses. But life isn't one size fits all. You're not a formula. Steve's story is a perfect example. At age 63, his employer offered him part-time consulting at half pay. He loved the idea of more free time, but worried that this might wreck his retirement plan. Together, we reviewed his full plan, factoring in his 59.5 options. Because the 59% penalty was gone, he could supplement his consulting income with small withdrawals from his retirement accounts. This phased transition allowed Steve to partially retire earlier than he had ever imagined. He went from feeling trapped by the wall of 60 to spending more time at his family cabin. Because retirement isn't just about money, it's about buying back your time. And when you build a custom financial plan, not just follow generic benchmarks, you create real flexibility. Now you know why age 59 isn't just another birthday. It's a financial turning point. Whether you're planning for yourself or helping a loved one, this window gives you options. And if you're thinking about freedom and flexibility, don't stop here. Go check out our other video, How to Achieve Financial Independence and Retire Early. It breaks down the FIRE movement and how you can design a lifestyle where work becomes optional much sooner than you think. The link is in the description. And of course, if you found this video valuable, hit like so more people can find it. And share this video with someone who's getting close to 59. They'll thank you later.